Am I the a-hole for not wanting my dad to walk me on my senior night since he won't let me move back in? Okay, so first off, I do feel bad about complaining about all of this. I'm just a middle-class American teenager. Like, I have a car and both my parents are well off and own homes. I'm not living in Gaza or anything terrible like that. I get it. But I'm 18F and a senior in high school. I have straight A's and a full ride to a university next year. It's not my dream school, but I know I'll end up going there because the economy is terrible, and while my parents are okay money-wise, free is free. My parents are divorced and remarried. My dad has been with my stepmom for a while, and my mom and stepdad have been together about 5 years. A few months ago, I was diagnosed with a tick-borne disease and can't have red meat products. It's terrible, and I get so sick if I have anything. I miss steak. But a few weeks ago, the night before a dance, my dad was making dinner. I was at his house on one of the days I normally wouldn't be because my mom was out of town and I don't like staying alone. He made my little brother's favourite meal that I didn't know had beef stock in it. Just to clarify, since I'd never read the meal, I asked if it was okay to eat and he said yes. Later when I got sick, he checked the recipe again and felt terrible and admitted there was beef stock and he forgot. That's obviously not his fault, but later when I was sick, we started fighting about the dance. I got super sick and had to miss my senior fall dance, which I know isn't the end of the world, but it really felt like it was, and I got into a huge fight with my dad. He called me spoiled and high maintenance, and I know I said things like I hate him and he doesn't care about me and left to stay with my mum's. We'd fought before, and I'd cooled off and went back to his house on my normal day, thinking we'd just apologize to one another like normal. But when I got there, he told me that he'd packed up my room into trash bags, and that he wasn't going to take abuse from his adult child. I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. I was crying a bunch, and my stepmom was yelling at my dad. She gave me one of her credit cards and told me to call her if I ever needed anything, and I've been staying at my mom's ever since. Which isn't great. She and her husband kind of do their own thing, and I just feel like I bother them. I recently broke up with my boyfriend too, and he's been kind of bothering me, and I asked my dad to tell him to stop, but he told me I needed to deal with my own issues on my own. So I asked my stepdad, which was embarrassing because I don't know him very well, and I don't know if he even fixed the situation and seemed annoyed until my mum finally talked to my ex. He finally left me alone, but now his friends keep messing with me online and in person at school. My senior night for my team is this weekend. I wanted my dad there and told him I'd buy him lunch this past weekend to talk. I told him I knew that what I said was wrong, and I wasn't trying to make excuses, but I was feeling so bad and was so upset about the dance, and him calling me high maintenance and spoiled also hurt. He said he knew that emotions were high, but I was an adult now and actions had consequences. I get that, but if I was the first teenager to fight with her parents, I would understand. I'm a good kid. I have a scholarship and a job, and I know kids who have gotten like DUIs, and their parents still love them and let them live with them. He said he loved me, but I needed to learn consequences and that he'd still go to my senior night, but I told him don't bother. I had wanted all 4 of them to walk me, but now I just want to walk myself. I don't feel supported by any of them, and just paid and went to leave. He told me that if I didn't let him walk me at my senior night, I could kiss ever moving back in with him ever again. I told him that was fine. I was just so done trying to convince him that I was worthy of living in his house. If my parents weren't divorced, it wouldn't even be a question if I'm allowed to live with my own dad. I'm fine with my decision. I have so many other things going on. My ex's friends are giving me problems. I'm playing like garbage anyways and will probably be benched soon, so it doesn't matter. But my grandparents and even my stepmom have called and asked me to answer my dad's calls and talk to him, and have said that I've upset him. I'm not trying to upset them, but I just am not in a good place to deal with all of this with him right now and don't want anyone there. There's a part of me that doesn't even want to walk that night. AITA has no consensus bot. OP received the majority of NTAs. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 NTA, your dad made a very heated and drastic move. His actions have consequences too. If he truly wanted to try to make amends, he'd find a proper way instead of guilt-tripping you through family members. Try to control your temper in heat-of-the-moment situations next time. And don't let people who don't make you feel supported and successful ruin your moments like your grad walk. OP, it's not for graduation. It's for a senior night since I'm on a varsity team. I generally do control my temper. Everything is just so overwhelming right now, and I felt so sick. He just doesn't understand how bad the food makes me feel. Commenter 2. What are his consequences for calling you spoiled over a medical issue? NTA, your father is a giant AH, and I'm glad at least your stepmom recognizes that. Sorry you can't eat meat since you like it. As someone who hasn't eaten beef for a quarter century, I honestly don't miss it, wow. OP. They say I can probably one day eat meat again. I don't like pork, not for religious reasons, I just like pigs, and can have poultry, but I can't stand vegetarian protein stuff. I know I need to try more. He said I was spoiled for being angry about missing my dance. He knows what I can't eat and still made it, and I blamed him. OP on her red meat allergy. OP. They said it might last for a few months or years, and it might forever. I like turkey and chicken, but I can't really eat spicy food, and it seems like that's the most popular vegetarian stuff. OOP on wanting to have parents supporting and being in her corner. OOP. I get that, but I do want to have my parents in my life. All of my friends are close with theirs. If they need money, they have no issues asking them, and they even go to them with their personal problems. I don't even bother my parents with that stuff. I just wish I had people in my corner for once in my life. OOP responds on getting therapy and seek for mental health assistance. OOP. I've tried getting therapy. I found one place that was only $80 copay, but neither of them wanted to pay it, and I barely make $100 a week. My mom said it's not necessary. I've tried. That's for the network. I spent hours the other day trying to find something. I even called the insurance company and pretended I was my mom to see either option, but there aren't any that I can afford. I know my school has free counselling next year, so hopefully it's good. OP explains more about the harassing she received from her ex's friends, asking them to stop. OP. I've tried saying all of that, but it hasn't stopped them. They'll say things behind my back and then to my face at school, but have enough plausible deniability so they don't actually get in trouble. I've tried blocking them, and they just harass me more in person or make new accounts. I'm just so freaking tired. OP explains how her father hasn't been very helpful for her when it comes to dealing with issues. OOP. Yes, he apologized for not telling me about the beef stock when I asked if there were any red meat products in the meal, because I would have just made myself something else no problem. But then I had to miss the dance, which made my ex blow up on me, so I broke up with him, and now he and all his friends are just constantly harassing me, and I'm sick of them calling me a lut and a WH0 or making accounts to harass me outside of school. I tried handling it on my own, but then my ex involved his friends, and now it's worse than ever. I asked my mum and stepdad for help, and it was okay for a day or so, then got worse. The school doesn't care. I just wanted my dad to talk to my ex or something and get him to stop, because I can hardly focus on school, much less sports, and now my family issues because of all of this. I might be an adult, but I'm still in high school, and yeah, maybe I'm not in danger, but I can't handle this. I went into it thinking that even if he didn't let me move back in, but at least tried to help me with my ex, I would want him at senior night. But he won't even help with that. But you're right. I'm an adult, and I can't depend on anyone else, and just need to put up with all of this and deal with it because I got angry with my dad and yelled at him. I just want one person to be on my freaking side. Update number 1, a bit over 1 month later. I know it's been a while since I posted about my senior night, but basically I, F18, got into a fight with my dad because he forgot there was something I was allergic to in the dinner he made, and I had to miss my dance. And he kicked me out to live with my mom. He got super mad when I told him he wasn't going to walk with me on my senior night. Anyways, I didn't even end up going and kind of forgot about it. Not to be super woke or anything. JK, I love being woke, LOL. But trigger warning. My coach isn't like a super nice guy or anything said. But my ex's friends, the ones who had been harassing after my mum had finally gotten my ex to leave me alone, accidentally did so in front of him. They were punished, and I was really hoping that would be the end of it. But it wasn't, and a few days later when I wasn't at school, they did something bad. I don't want to elaborate. And they were arrested, and the ones whose parents could afford to have them out on bail. But I know 2 of them didn't get bailed out. My ex wasn't there, but he was charged with something else. He's over 18 but still got bail, and they ended up dropping the charges on him. It might be my fault. I know it's stupid, but before it happened, I had deleted all of his messages because it was really stressful having them on my phone. My mum keeps pushing for them to get a warrant for the deleted messages, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And honestly, I don't know if it would even matter. I have a restraining order for all of them, though, which is good. There's a lady I'll call Gail, IDK if she's a social worker or actually a cop, but she's been really nice and helpful. She told me that if they don't take plea deals, there will be multiple trials, and I'd have to testify at all of them. I asked her when the trials would be, because the school I am going to is far away, but she said not to worry about that. I just don't want to be in my new life and have to miss classes or something. I also really don't want to testify and hope they take deals, even if it means they won't be punished as much. Like, I know they have rights, and there's allegedly still a constitution in America, but the idea of testifying at multiple trials makes me want to die. I've seen videos of people making fun of women who testify too, and I can't handle that, so I really hope they take deals. I guess if they could just combine all of the trials and I only had to testify at one, I would be okay with doing that. But Gail said that's not likely to happen and not to get my hopes up. She wasn't mean about that or anything. I think she was just being realistic. My mom and stepdad have been really good about everything. My stepdad and I don't know each other that well, but he broke down and apologized and said he blames himself and should have done more. I don't think he should blame himself. I even told him that. But he's been doing nice things for me a lot and making a lot of food that I like without me doing anything in return, so I feel bad. My mom has been really nice and supportive, but I think she's taking all of this harder than I am almost, and that is annoying. Like, she just randomly cries and it's annoying to me because nothing happened to her. I haven't said anything to her about that, though. Like, I don't need her acting like I'm still a kid and cutting up my food for me. I can do that. I haven't talked to my dad. I don't want to. The day before the party, I had begged my dad again to say something to one of the guys' dads because they work together. But he left me on read, so I guess I kind of blame him. I know that's wrong, but I don't want to see or hear from him. So I blocked him. I didn't even want him to know what happened. I know the police went to my mum's house to tell her and was kind of hoping that since I was over 18 they wouldn't tell him, but since he was still my emergency contact, they did. I fixed that for the future. He's talked to my mom, but she said I don't need to talk to him or even think about him right now. He sent a bunch of letters to my mum's house, for a week or whatever it was every day, but now it's less often. But I didn't read any, and my mum said she'd just set them aside for now. I told her she could throw them away, but I don't think she did. I mean, I'm sure he feels bad, but I don't want to hear him apologize or try to comfort me. I wanted his help before all of this and to have tried to stop it from happening, but he didn't do anything. So that's why I blame him and not my mom or stepdad. They at least tried to do something before all of this, even if what they did didn't work. I don't think I will forgive him. I know he's hurting, but I can't worry about his feelings. I know this sounds bad, but I'm not his only kid and he has my brothers too, so I don't feel guilty. Like, I'm not stopping him from being a dad forever to anyone you know. Plus, I'm an adult now and I can choose who can or cannot comfort me. I have a therapist now. She's fine. I wish I could have a different one because her voice kind of annoys me. I don't think they let you change therapists because of that, though. I actually hate therapy, to be honest, and wish my mom would stop making it a big deal that I go. I don't want to tell her that it is kind of nice being the one in charge of my relationship with my dad and not vice versa. That's probably bad, but it's true. Plus, I kind of have a I don't give a fuck attitude lately, and I probably would just say to his face that I blame him and that this is his fault, which I know isn't fair. So not talking to him is the right thing to do. I also had to block my stepmom. She texted my aunt that it's nice just being them and their kids and not having my drama in their house, and it got back to me. So I'm just giving them what they want. Like, I wonder if either of them actually ever really loved or cared about me. Maybe kicking me out when I turned 18 was the plan all along, and that's why he did it over something so stupid. And, again, they have my brothers, so they're not missing out on anything with me, you know? Everyone at school knows, but they've all been nice, like not even just my team and friends, but everyone there has been nice, though. Like, really nice. I don't think they're being fake or anything. But if they are, I told my therapist that was fine because I'd rather them be nice and fake than mean and authentic right now. I was kind of nervous because I'm not popular or anything at school. I'm not a loser or anything, but kind of do my own thing. The only other person in my class who's going to my college is this one popular guy, and he promised me he wouldn't tell anyone at our college about this. I know people will probably still find out, but that was nice. He's been talking to me more, even outside of school, like we were on break part of last week and he still reached out. It kind of feels like he's trying to hype me up for college, which is nice because at first I am kind of thinking about taking a year or something off, but I know I should. I think his parents both went to the school and he's obsessed with it, so he keeps sending me things going on there. His older sister also goes there, and he said he's going to go a week early and stay with her and invited me. I know it's a while away and told him I'd think about it. I don't really want to, Ray, but it's one of those things where I feel like even if I don't enjoy it, it would be good for me long-term to go and meet people before freshman week starts. So I don't know what I'll do about my dad. I was thinking about calling him at Christmas, but maybe I won't. My brothers have told my grandma they want to see me at Christmas, but it might be because I always get them good gifts, lol. Maybe I can go over to their house for a little. Mom and her husband don't do much like decorate or celebrate Christmas. And my dad's side is really festive, so I kind of miss that. I will probably do the more Christmassy things in town with my best friend's family. I know my mom and stepdad would do them if I asked, but maybe I'll just go with her family. So I don't know. My mom asked me if there was anything my dad could do for me to listen to or talk to him, and I told her I'd think about it. Luckily, she's only asked once. So I'm not saying never, I'm just not interested right now. But I'm excited about the future and going to college, and think I'll just focus on that. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Honey. Therapy is something you most definitely need right now. Desperately. And I don't mean it in a pejorative way. Therapy is good and is perfectly fine if you don't click with your therapist. Try and check if it's possible to change. 2 people can be fantastic, amazing, and excellent at what they do. And not get along. A professional can be great, considerate and awesome at their job, and still not click with everyone. Maybe try and give therapy a chance. OP. I don't know. I don't read the letters. Even if he did, it's not like he's sending them every day like he was before. So I feel like probably in a few months they'll just stop and in time he'll just forget about it all. If anyone after that, don't you feel even your go still is, and uncomfortable tell doctor with to your doctor to be sounds your maybe, then when you start, you can school ask you if can access a change counselling is possible services. But please make sure you open up in therapy. OP, I get it, and I know therapy helps a lot of people. I just don't like it. It's not her fault. I don't think she's a bad therapist, and I've done therapy before and didn't like it. Maybe at school when I'm on my own, it'll be better. I just feel like it's a waste of time right now. Commenter 2. Does your dad know what your stepmother said? If he does and he's done nothing, there's nothing to say to him. Let him have his wretched wife and go on with life without him. A good parent doesn't kick their child out of the house when that parent has endangered them because of gross negligence. He's already a failure in many ways. Add his wife and not sure what his redeeming quality is. Your grandmother could facilitate seeing your brothers without seeing your dad. As you have said in the post, true, you may not be in the headspace to see him. Adding the pressure of Christmas on top of that, it's probably not the best idea. Your mom is emotional because she knows you've been hurt and it's bad, but she can't do any of it for you. Good moms want to take the bullet for their kids and spare them hurt and hardship. She can't do that now, and it's hard. No, it didn't happen to her, but it happened to her baby, and watching her baby hurt is very difficult. It is not on you to comfort her or support her or shield her. I'm just trying to explain. I hope you have a good Christmas and can start counting down to college with sincere joy and excitement. Fingers crossed they take please and you get peace from that part. Oh, P. I don't know if he knows. I doubt she even knows that I know. My cousin just saw the text on her mom's phone and told me. She might have just been venting or something, but I don't care. I don't know if they'll let me just see them without them there, but I can ask my grandma. I don't know if they'll let me know that's happened and I won't tell them or anything, but maybe they don't want my brothers to be a part of it. I don't know. OP on her father not being very supportive to her. OP, I don't think it's that though. I just feel like he could have stopped all of this but didn't want to. And if he's like, oh, I'm so sorry this happened, I'd be like, are you? I told him they were bothering me for weeks and he didn't do anything and now wants to act like he cares because it looks bad that I won't talk to him or see him. I don't believe he actually cares about me and what happened to me. Has OOP read the letters that her father has sent her at her mother's house? OOP, I don't know. I don't read the letters. He could still think he did nothing wrong. Even if he did. It's not like he's sending them every day like he was before. So I feel like probably in a few months they'll just stop and in time he'll just forget about it all. He might already be starting to forget, and maybe that's for the best. My therapist had me write my dad a letter but not send it, and it wasn't very nice, and that's how I know I probably shouldn't talk to him for a while. I feel like I blame him more than my ex and his friends for what happened. Yes, they are awful, but it's supposed to be my dad's job to take care of me and keep me safe, and instead he threw me away like trash. And maybe he's just trying to connect with me, because it looks bad that I won't talk to him. I don't know. I'm sure he'll get over it. This time next year, he probably won't even be thinking about it or me. Unfortunately, I doubt I'll ever forget about it ever. Final update. 5 weeks later. Final update. Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a good holiday, whatever you celebrate. I love Christmas time. I'm not very religious or anything. I just feel like it's a great time of year. A lot of people have asked me for an update, but I don't really have anything huge. But things are mostly fine. Most days I feel totally fine. But I've decided that this whole chapter or whatever is over now. I read all my dad's letters. My mom and stepdad were gone for a weekend for her birthday, and I don't really sleep much. They were whatever. I can tell that he's hurting, but I don't have time for all of that. I would have killed for him to say any of that stuff before all of this, but I didn't feel anything reading them now. Like asking me to move back in doesn't mean anything now. It would have before, but now I don't even want to. My stepmom had sent a few too, but they were mostly just about wanting me to reach out to my dad and how badly he was hurting. And one of them basically said that this all happened because I didn't tell my dad the severity of everything wrong, and they can't help me in the future if I don't talk to them. And in all my dad's letters, he's constantly talking about how he wants me to move back in, etc. But in my stepmom's, she just says I should come over and visit. So I threw them all away. My best friend's grandparents got into a really bad car accident. Her family went out to Ohio to spend Christmas with them, instead of them coming to her, which is good, but they were who I was going to do Christmas stuff with. They said I could come with them, but that felt very intrusive, so I said it was totally fine. They did ask me to house sit, but they don't have any pets or plants or anything, so I think they were just saying it's fine if I stay there some nights like I normally do. My mom and stepdad work a lot and aren't that into the holidays, but they put up a tree, which they never do, so that was nice. I found some decorations that were probably my grandma's in the basement and put them up too. So our house at least looked festive. My mom and stepdad are at least pretending to like them, but I'll take them down soon before they get too annoyed. That guy from my school who is going to college with me, I'll call Dan. His family doesn't do Christmas stuff either, but that's because they're Jewish. But there's this lights thing in my city, and it's kind of stupid, but I always used to do it with my dad and brothers and stepmom and was going to do it with my friend, but she had to leave town. But Dan got us tickets, and that was really nice. We had a good time. But I didn't really think about my dad and his family being there, but they were. I was able to avoid them, and didn't let it ruin my night, though. Christmas wasn't that great. I guess in the past I've just been more into it and getting people gifts and seeing people. I think a lot of people weren't feeling it. I feel like not as many people put lights up on their houses, and normally I can't go 2 feet without being handed cookies and stuff, but this year I didn't do any of that. So it felt like it was December 1st, then bam, Christmas Eve. Normally I'm with my mom Christmas Eve, then my dad's Christmas Day and go to my grandma's on that side. So I called her and asked if I could still come for a little bit in the morning since they usually go to my stepmom's side for a bit then. And she said of course. She even went and got my brothers and told my dad and stepmom they could come after I left. It was really, really nice of her. I was having a lot of fun, and it felt like there was nothing wrong. But then my one brother asked me when I was leaving so his parents could come. So I left. He's a kid and I'm sure he just wanted to open more presents, so it's not his fault. But it hurt a lot because I was so excited to see them, and I think I'm just going to distance myself from them for a while. Not because I'm mad, but just for now, for myself. My dad and stepmom had sent gifts with them for me, but I didn't open them and left them there. I didn't get them anything, so it felt wrong, but also I wanted to hurt them. My mom and stepdad go to his family on Christmas Day, and I didn't want to just home alone, so I just kind of drove around for a while. But Dan was free. Normally when we hang out, we just get stoned, and he makes vegan versions of non-vegan meals, but the grocery stores were all closed, so we saw that ping pong movie. I quit therapy. Sorry. It was so expensive, and I was getting nothing out of it, and I had gone to this support group Gail told me about, and it's really been helping. Like exponentially more than therapy. I don't know if I'm supposed to pay someone for it, but I don't know who to ask. But even if I have to pay, I'll keep going. The people are nice, and I can just listen if I don't want to talk. Gail said she'd help me find one in my new city, but maybe I'll just do a fresh start when I go to school. I'm glad I found the support group. But one of the people there said something along the lines of how expensive lawyers cost. And I guess before that, I didn't realize that these guys' parents not only paid their bail, which I guess they'll get back, but apparently thousands of dollars for lawyers to try to get them off. And anyways, this is stupid, but I got mad that they're paying all that money for their kids and it just goes to lawyers and I'm sitting here paying for therapy because of what their sons did. And two of these guys still have girlfriends. One of them goes to my best friend's high school. Last year I went to her prom with her as friends, and the girl reached out and asked me not to go this year. I just blocked her, and Gail told me they're not allowed to tell me where I can and can't go. But if that guy is going to go, I obviously won't, and I'm not trying to make more drama by poking that bear. But in all of that drama, my mum was saying that after trauma, you're not supposed to date for a year, which it's like to each their own. Also, I think she's thinking of drug addicts, which I'm not. So those were really the only few times I've been sad lately. And not that much, like I don't cry or anything. I kind of want to change my last name. Not to my stepdad's, though. I could ask my mum what her maiden name was, but maybe I could pick a new one. Gail said she might be able to talk to a judge for me, so that was nice. I know I'll change my last name when I get married, but that won't be for a long time, and I'm hoping I can change it before college. Either way, I'm going to be okay. Editor's note. OP also posted the final update onto her profile. I am adding the comments for more context. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Go to prom with a group of people, so you're not stuck with just one person to hide behind. You deserve to have your senior prom experience, and you can always dip early for an after-party if things get weird. There's always the option, if you have friends at other schools, to go to another school's prom. OOP. That's kind of the problem. I was excited to go to my friend's prom again since I thought fewer people there would know. It doesn't matter because I won't go to that one either now, but I'll probably go to mine. I just hate that that girl thinks she can tell me what to do. Commenter 2. Is the other girl's boyfriend somebody there is a restraining order against? If you go, then he can't go. That's probably why she asked you not to go, but you are totally allowed to do what's best for you. Not only allowed, but you should put yourself first. It sounds like you haven't been doing that. I bet if your best friend let the school know that there was a restraining order and why they wouldn't want him there anyway. Up. Yeah. Gail said they can't tell me where I can and can't go, and my best friend's mom said she would talk to the school for me. It's not my school, but at this point, maybe I'll just go to mine. I don't want everyone there to know about my drama. Commenter 3. I'm glad you and Dan are hanging out. Sounds like you're craving normalcy, but like a new normalcy where you're away from this town and all these people you have a complicated history with, which honestly is totally legit. And you should try to remember that whenever someone tries to family you, the whole no dating after trauma is part of a larger gestalt of no big lifestyle changes after grief or trauma, which is mostly a rule of thumb that tries to steer people away from escapism and to make sure they process everything, so it doesn't come back to bite them later. But because of your life stage, you really ought to go to college. You can't get a divorce, you can't quit your job, you can't go on a year-long road trip like it's some kind of midlife crisis, lol. So basically the advice boils down to, don't just disappear into a relationship to avoid being alone with yourself. And you sound like you're doing pretty good at sitting with things and working through them at your own pace. You're doing good, kid. Take care of yourself. Opie, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm going to be making a big change in going to college, but at this point, that's kinda it. And I don't want to really date anybody in particular, especially since I'll be leaving. But it's kind of like I can't really casually date someone because I would have to tell them everything, and then it's not casual. Maybe in college because I won't have to tell people there because nobody will know I could casually date someone just beyond a FWB or something. We'll see. Commenter 4. Thank you for the update. I changed my last name to my mom's maiden name after I turned 18. It's not difficult, but it's a process. You need to confirm what your state requires. The state I was living in at the time required after I filed the paperwork with the courts that I make an announcement in the newspaper once a week for 4 weeks. I can't remember how much that cost for the announcement. It's so that creditor debt collectors can see the name change and file motions if there is a debt to collect or anyone else has an issue. Then I had a court date and had to go before the judge and say why I wanted my name changed. It took longer waiting for my case to be called than the name change itself. Then I went to the DMV and Social Security office to change my name. Then I got copies of the name change to change anything else I needed to change. Credit cards, bank, passport, etc. OOP. Yeah, I downloaded everything and made a little checklist and timeline, and I know it'll be a process. I don't think I want my mom's maiden name TBH. I think I have to pick hers. She has my stepdad's last name now, so it's not even hers. Commenter 4. That's true and an excellent point. I would find a name that has meaning for you and then choose that name. If, when you get married, then you can decide whether you want to change your last name again, or keep your maiden name, or keep both. I kept both because I earned several degrees and had a career established in my maiden name by the time I married my husband. It's now my middle name. I didn't want to lose that part of my identity. I didn't take his last name until we had kids. OP? True. Like most little girls, I think I was super into Anne Boleyn, but that would be a silly name to take. But something like that. OP responds to a comment regarding cutting her father off and making life changes for herself. OOP? Thanks. I haven't told him I'm cutting him off. I am just refusing to talk to him or be around him. Maybe that will be permanent, but maybe not. Either way, I'm changing my last name.